So I was scuba diving yesterday, and while I was underwater, I noticed a sizable chunk of a giant barrel sponge that was missing. And it got me thinking, how does this happen? It looks like a diver did it, but it doesn't look intentional. It's probably an accident. I don't believe anybody really intentionally goes down there trying to do damage or harm to the reef. But nonetheless, the reef isn't the same as it was, and it's irreversible. It'll never really grow back to the way it was. So how does this happen? I don't know. Let's go check it out, see what happened, see if we can't figure it out, and see if we can figure out how to prevent it. So today the kayak is a little bit of overkill. I could just swim out here at Cane Bay Beach on the north shore of St. Croix, but where's the adventure in that? We're gonna head out to this mooring out here and tie up, get our scuba gear in the water, get our drone in the water, and go check out that reef. So the reef, as we know, is really fragile, and it's been under a lot of stress over the last several years. Things such as the ocean temperature rising, which has contributed to coral bleaching events, which is also happening here locally. Also diseases such as the stony coral tissue loss disease, which is also now found here on St. Croix, and that's new within the last couple of months, are all doing some damage and putting pressure on the health of the reef. So us as divers, we need to do our best to preserve and protect the environment that we really enjoy and do our best to not damage it. So to making sure that we have good buoyancy and good control over ourselves while we're down on the reef is really important. But let's head down and take a look at that barrel sponge, see if we can't figure out what happened, and again, see if we can't figure out as divers what we can do to prevent those types of things. Tied a quick bowline in here. Hopefully our kayak's here when we get back. Check the knot. Sadly enough, the underwater drone here is not powering up, and honestly I have no idea why. It looks like it's the remote. I charged everything, I tested everything before I got in the water, but it's not doing it out here on the kayak. So it's gonna stay. Let's get in. If you'd like to see the drone in use, definitely check out the video at the end of this one in our end screen. We'll also link to it below in the description. But we do an obstacle avoidance test with it. It's pretty cool, and we'll definitely use it in another video. I'm sure it's user error, but today let's head down right here and go check out the reef. Okay, so some days just do not work out very well or go as planned. Anyway, the sea life camera is down there. The screen got locked up. I don't know what the deal is there, but essentially without the drone camera or the sea life camera, I'm out of cameras. We're just gonna use the movie magic, pick up here tomorrow. Getting in the water the next day was absolutely incredible. The water quality was so clear and it was just gorgeous under the waves. So peaceful. As we descend down over the sandy bottom and move and swim towards the barrel sponges, it becomes evident though the damage that was done to the one sponge on the right. At the top of the sponge, there's a large chunk that's taken out of the rim of the barrel sponge, and a smaller chunk is missing right next to it. Now it's hard to say exactly what happened, but it looks like a diver had descended down and had a fin maybe come inside the sponge and knock out the bigger chunk and then the smaller chunk. And those chunks are still there, but now they're just laying down in the sand. And the damage had been done. And it looks like buoyancy control was probably the culprit. So let's talk about buoyancy control.
Buoyancy control is one of the skills as divers that we should master for our own safety, but also to ensure that we don't damage the environment around us. Buoyancy is our ability to float in the water. We want to ideally be neutrally buoyant. In other words, we're not positive and floating upwards or negative and sinking downwards. So the goal underwater is to become neutrally buoyant again, so that you're just hovering in one position, weightless in the water column. So let's talk about a few tips on how we can achieve that. So tip number one, ensure that you're properly weighted. Our gear makes us positively buoyant at the surface, so we add extra weights in to make us neutrally buoyant at the surface. If you add too much weight, you're going to sink too quickly and head down to the bottom. Tip number two, as you're descending, you want to descend slowly, letting out the air from your BCD, your buoyancy control device, at a slow and steady rate. Tip number three, remember as you're descending down, your lungs act very similar to your buoyancy control device. They're built in and always there for you to use. So as you're descending, exhale to begin your descent, and then inhale to slow your ascent. Remember, of course, never hold your breath while diving, but you can use your lungs to help control your buoyancy. Tip number four, remember, add just a little bit of air to your buoyancy control device and to let out just a little bit of air as you need it. Shouldn't have to add very much to maintain that neutral buoyancy. Small movements are the key to good buoyancy. Tip number five, take an extra course that focuses on buoyancy control. You can never learn enough, and additional training is always a good thing. All the training agencies offer a course that focuses specifically on ways to manage and really fine-tune your buoyancy, which is key to ensuring your safety and also ensuring that we don't harm or damage the reef in any way. Guys, if you like this video, definitely check out another one of our videos here at the end. And make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss a dive. But we will see you on the next one.